Hello, everyone. Have you ever wondered why someone like me, a white woman, would fall deeply in love with a black man? If you're drawn to tales of love that challenge societal norms, then this short story might resonate with you. Picture this. I'm walking hand in hand with my boyfriend through one of Manhattan's bustling main streets in New York City, a place renowned as the city that never sleeps. As we strolled, I couldn't help but notice the curious glances from strangers, particularly from white women. Their silent stares seemed to carry a question they dared not voice aloud. Why is that white woman so enamored with that black man? I could guess the thoughts behind their questioning eyes, though the judgment in their gazes often left me unsettled. As a woman in love, I sometimes found myself questioning my choices, wondering if I was doing the right thing. That unease would creep into my mind, growing louder when I imagined the whispers and judgments of others. But what stung the most were the questions from my own family. They would sometimes ask, "What do you see in him?" Their words pierced deeper than the stares of strangers. My response, unwavering and honest, has always been, because I love him. In New York and across many parts of the United States, there is a lingering undercurrent of social prejudice against black individuals. While many of us are aware of it, few are willing to acknowledge it openly. When my family first met my boyfriend, their judgment was swift and unkind. They never asked me about the depth of our bond or the reasons behind my feelings. Instead, they assumed and questioned why someone like me would be with someone like him. Perhaps through this story, you can begin to understand the reasons behind my love. That's why I ask you to follow along and listen until the very end. One of the first questions I asked myself before embarking on this relationship was, do people even have the right to know why I, as a white woman, am involved in an interracial relationship with a black man? It's a question that lingers in a society where interracial marriages between blacks and whites were, not so long ago, prohibited by law. My journey is a testament that this so-called forbidden love persists far more often than many realize. Well-meaning individuals have told me that physical attraction alone shouldn't form the foundation of a relationship. While I understand their point, they sometimes take it further, warning me that black men as a group are not trustworthy partners. They cite stereotypes, infidelity, a lack of commitment, and the prevalence of fatherless children. These generalizations are hurtful and unfair, but they reflect the biases ingrained in society. Still, despite the judgment, the doubts, and the whispers, my love for him remains unwavering. It's a love that defies expectations, challenges stereotypes, and proves that the heart doesn't discriminate. It simply chooses. This is something that could happen to anyone who chooses the wrong partner. The fears intensify when society stereotypes that choice, particularly if it involves a black man. While some of the comments I've heard are unsettling, they don't bother me when I think about my boyfriend. Knowing him as I do, those fears vanish completely. Some of my closest friends have shared their thoughts, saying it's normal these days to indulge in a night of passion with someone you find attractive, especially if they're of a different race. But I'm not the type of woman who believes in experimenting with people from other backgrounds just for the sake of experiencing what some consider exotic or fulfilling an erotic fantasy. That has never been my perspective. Despite the stereotypes and warnings my friends have shared about black men, all my doubts disappeared the moment I had my first meaningful conversation with him. Beyond my initial attraction, I discovered that we share similar interests, values, and dreams. Our personalities align in ways that feel effortless. He brings so much positivity into my life, and I believe I do the same for him. The narrow-minded views I once held, believing that black men lacked education or ambition, crumbled as I got to know him. His goals, aspirations, and entrepreneurial mindset amaze me. He's driven, intelligent, and passionate about his pursuits. In short, we love each other, and no one can change that. This man has a way of making me feel like the most cherished woman in the world. It's in how he treats me, speaks to me, and even how he looks at me. Whether it's through his affectionate words or the tender way he holds me, every moment with him feels extraordinary. Our physical connection is a natural extension of the love and respect we share, and it keeps our relationship vibrant and fulfilling. What I treasure most is how he treats me, with kindness and reverence, without expecting anything in return. When we're together, skin color becomes irrelevant. What truly matters is the love, respect, and mutual care we have for one another. There's a stark difference between societal beliefs about black men and the reality of being loved by one. Personal experiences trump stereotypes, and it's unfair to judge anyone based solely on the color of their skin. Just like men of any other race, black men have strengths and flaws. My boyfriend is no exception. Is he perfect? Of course not. No one is. Has he made mistakes in the past? Probably. But who am I to judge someone's history? What matters to me is how he fulfills my expectations as a partner, a friend, and a person. He treats me with dignity and love, and that's something every woman should value when choosing a companion. Even if some label our relationship as unconventional or criticize it in a society still grappling with racism and inequality, I stand by my love for him. This man respects me, apologizes when he's wrong, and genuinely cares about how I feel. He has never treated me as a trophy to impress others, nor does he feel insecure about his identity when interacting with my friends. What warms my heart most is how his family treats me. They don't view me, a white woman, with distrust or suspicion. Instead, they've welcomed me as one of their own. Their acceptance contrasts sharply with the occasional curiosity or judgment I encounter from my colleagues, who often ask me, if I'm not afraid of the centuries-old racial divide that has separated blacks and whites, how will I feel when my biracial children arrive? What will my reaction be if someone denies that they are my children because of their skin color? These are questions I've been asked, sometimes with good intentions. Yet I must admit, while these questions disturb me, they also frustrate me. Even those who call themselves my friends occasionally reveal subtle, underlying racist attitudes, not just toward my boyfriend, but toward interracial relationships as a whole. Some of my more extreme friends believe that my relationship is nothing more than a fetish, that I'm using my boyfriend for sexual pleasure or as an act of rebellion against societal norms. They argue that I'm merely infatuated and that this relationship will vanish when I meet the right white man. Others suggest that I'm with a black man because of some past disappointment with a white partner who failed to treat me well. They warn me not to let him rush me into marriage, questioning his intentions as a black man marrying outside his race. The worst, however, is when they claim that no matter how attractive he may be, a black man is unworthy of a white woman's attention. These remarks expose the deeply rooted prejudices in their minds, often based on stereotypes and myths about black men. I rarely respond to these questions, as I know their origins are steeped in ignorance and bias. Many people hold assumptions about black men, drawn from false societal beliefs rather than personal experience. These stereotypes are among the many reasons racial prejudice persists in this country. Black individuals often face an uphill battle, working twice as hard as their white counterparts to achieve the same level of success and recognition. As a mixed-race couple walking hand in hand through Manhattan, we're often met with subtle and sometimes overt discrimination. I've come to understand why people feel the way they do, but there's little I can do to change their perceptions. Even in cities as diverse as New York, where the streets are alive with ethnic and cultural variety, interracial relationships still face skepticism, especially those that cross not only racial but also social boundaries. The challenges we face as a couple are part of a larger societal issue. In a nation historically marked by racial inequality, the union of a black man and a white woman is seen by some as taboo, even in a society that outwardly claims to celebrate diversity. Why do I love this man? That question doesn't need to be answered to those who oppose our relationship. When I look at him, I don't see his skin color. I see the man I've chosen to be with, a man who fulfills my emotional, spiritual, and social needs. He makes me feel secure and loved, and that's enough for me. Will interracial relationships ever be fully accepted in the United States? I don't know. What I do know is that I love this man in a society that, despite progress, still struggles to accept such relationships. While television shows and media may promote these unions, there remains a portion of the population that clings to outdated beliefs, fueled by ignorance, hatred, or a sense of superiority. Yet, I believe love conquers all. I have faith in my relationship, in the man who has chosen me as his partner, and in the life we're building together. Our love is genuine and strong, and that gives me hope for the future. To those who resonate with this kind of story, thank you for listening. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to share this story. Thank you for being part of this journey.